YouTube. We here. Let's go. Yo, it's your boy, L Boogie, aka L to the, better known as Cuzzo to most of y'all, but you can call me Lavelle, whatever you like. Welcome to the Cuzzo YouTube channel. We are here finally. Yeah, I know, but better late than never. So, what is this first video about? So the first video, we're going to just give you all the story of Cuzzo. How did it come to be? How did we get to where we are? So I'm gonna take you from the humble beginnings to starting here, to growing the brand, to here, to even some of my teenage years of me designing and drawing, and then actually having an interview from Nike just from drawing to where we're going to get that YouTube plaque right there. So y'all gonna be a part of the journey to growing this brand from where it is to a multi-billion-dollar brand. Let's go. So when I was a kid, I was always that creative kid, while the teacher was up there teaching their hearts out. And I mean, really teaching their hearts out. I was a kid, I was always creative as I was growing up. I loved art, I loved drawing, I loved design. As a matter of fact, one of my first introduction to design was actually through shoes. One of my favorite silhouette, which is the Air Jordan 3. The cements, the free throw lines, as many people call them. Those were a thing of beauty. Even at the age of 7 and 8, I was drawing that shoe and making my own iteration of it because I just thought it was a beautiful representation of art. And even from there, it started me. It started the creative pull in me. I mean, like most kids, I started off loving art, drawing, and you're drawing all kind of stuff and putting it on the refrigerator. But surprisingly, it was that Air Jordan 3, one of my grails next to the Air Jordan 11, was one of those things that started the passion. It started the fire of me just wanting to design, me wanting to create. So I even have, and I might even post it right here, some of the pictures of some of the first original drawings I have. Some of them I kept, some of them I just redid because I still have it from memory of my iteration of my version of the Air Jordan shoe. I created, funny enough, this whole world to where I imagine myself working for Nike and being a part of that whole system of being, I'm a designer or me being an athlete and I have to design a shoe for myself that's going to come out on the next year. But it was a great journey, and it even, which you'll find out a little bit later in the story, it got me an interview with Nike. Flew me out as a young kid from the west side of Chicago all the way to Portland, Oregon, having an interview with Nike, meeting the top of the line designers. So it's been a great ride and a great journey to helping me start my brand. So started on the west side of Chicago, single parent family, mother doing the best she could, but I had a liking to art. Thank God for the people that were around me that make sure that I didn't get into things that I shouldn't be getting into, and really pushed me and propelled me to the stuff that I like, which was art, which was drawing, which was expressing myself through art. So me being a young kid, had my own line when I was about 7 or 8 that I made up that people are going to be wearing, my brand and things of that nature. Now take that trek all the way to high school. So now in high school, still same me, growing a little bit better at art, but still having that drive and that passion. Like, man, I want to have a brand that will reach the world, that will grow worldwide, that people all over the world will be wearing my brand and happy to wear it, and whatever it may be, whatever the meaning behind it was, I just wanted to create. I wanted people to be happy through my expression of art, however it may come out or however it may seem. So I'm still drawing in high school, still drawing. So, and my friends used to come up to me like, man, you should send that to Nike. That's dope. I don't know if it was gas or real or whatever, but I was always drawing. So some of my friends in high school was like, man, that's really dope. You should send that to Nike. And as most of you know, if you are a shoe head, and if you're here, more than likely you're a shoe head. So welcome again to the Cuzzo family. So on the back of the Nike shoebox is actually the address to where Nike headquarters is. So from looking at that, I think it's 1 Bowerman Drive or something like that, I began to say, hey, what the heck, I'll give it a shot. So this was before the days of social media where you could just kind of reach out, or Twitter and all that other stuff. I think MySpace might have been popping by then. Not sure, but still, this was the day where you still sending everything through snail mail. So I took some of what I thought were my hottest designs and sent them to Nike. Now it's going to have a funny story at the end of it, but it didn't start off funny. So I took that address, took some of my best designs, and back then, me not having a lot of resources that were available, again, we didn't have Facebook, we didn't have Twitter, we didn't have IG or nothing like that. So I took my designs, and not having a lot even from home, you know, we didn't come from wealth or anything like that. So what I did have available, I used. So I had recycled paper. Y'all know about that recycled paper, that paper that's not clear white. It got those little dots all in it, and just all of those it wasn't even white paper. It was like off-white. Now it'd probably be considered cool or something like that, but it wasn't then. But I used what I had. Make it so bad, I didn't even have black ink. So what I had to do with the only ink my printer could print at that time, as a matter of fact, I got pictures. I'm gonna put it here while I'm talking. I had to print it out on blue ink. So here I am sending my pitch to Nike, like, hey, I'm a young designer from Chicago. I have great ideas, because I had a new lacing system I wanted to introduce to them, that a way to tie up your shoes without actually having laces. So I'm sending it to all, and what actually changed everything. But before I get to that, I sent all of these letters to Nike, and then I get home maybe a week or two later, I started getting letters back from Nike. I opened the letters, and guess what? They were all rejection letters saying, sorry kid, Nike doesn't take designs from outside designers, anything that nature, you know, continue to do your best, that kind of thing. So week after week, that didn't stop me from writing letters. So continuing to have this passion, like, man, Nike is my dream job, to be able to just design and be creative and work at a place like this. I'm already designing shoes. I already have ideas for a great line and all of that, and continue to get all of these rejection letters just piling up on me. Rejection after rejection. Sorry kid, sorry, blah, blah, blah. Then one day, this particular magazine, actually, I believe God used it as to change the trajectory of my life. Yeah, that's serious. So whoever did this, or whoever's in charge of it now, y'all can tag them if you know. Where is it at? I got to show y'all this. This magazine right here, the Kicks magazine, was the magazine that changed the trajectory of my life. I believe God used this magazine to actually change the trajectory of my life. Why? Because in their first inaugural magazine, what they did was, and this is the same magazine, they highlighted all of the designers at Nike. So everyone that was anybody at Nike, they highlighted the designers, whatever. So what I did, every name that they mentioned, from the janitor to Phil Knight at the time, everybody they mentioned, I wrote to. Told them, hey, kid from Chicago, got all these ideas, give me a shot. This and that. Then more rejection letters, more rejection letters, more rejection letters, more rejection letters. So if the first one weren't enough, I got more rejection letters. So after getting all of the rejection letters, rejection after rejection, because I thought, man, this is actual people doing the things that I wanted to do. At the time, it was coming up, for those of you who really are part of the design community, they had a website. We had Nike Talk, and there was this other site called Kicks Guide, where you can design shoes, upload them, and people would vote on them. And then there were industry people from Dwayne Edwards at the time was beginning to look at people. As a matter of fact, I think Alpha Project got discovered on one of those websites. So it wasn't like the different opportunities that people had before. It was this magazine. So I wrote everybody in this magazine like, hey, kid from Chicago, give me a shot. Just take a look at my stuff. All of this and that. So rejection after rejection letter. I come home and this is right here. What you see right now on the screen is a ton. And this is not all the rejection letters that I got from Nike. Sorry, kid. But as you see, regardless of all those letters, it didn't stop me. One of the things that we'll talk about in future videos with you building your brand, because this channel, we're going to talk about everything. We're going to talk about fashion. We'll show you how to, many of you want to know, how do I get my clothing line started? So we're going to talk about fashion, the current trends, what to do, how to find good manufacturers, all of that nature. We're going to talk about footwear, of course, because that's where the love started from. I love footwear, and Nike, if you're listening, let's do a collab or something like that. And not only Nike, hey, if somebody else want to pick up the ball, let's do it. Let's go. Let's go to the nations. Let's bring fresh fashion to the world. So not only Nike, Adidas, Puma, whoever listening, tag them, let them know we're here. So again, writing all of these letters, back to the story, writing all of these letters to Nike, getting the pile of rejection letters. Yes, all of those rejection letters, more rejection letters, more rejection letters, more rejection letters are the letters I got, but it didn't stop me. So one day I come home. So now I'm in college, but still writing letters, still trying to get in. One day I get home, another letter, and it got to this point I had become numb to the letters, but it didn't stop me. So this letter, it was a little bit thicker than all the other letters that I got before. And I didn't think too much of it because before they would add little extra things in it or whatever. Didn't move me or whatever. But get home, actually placed a letter on my bed, didn't think too much about it. Opened up the letter a little bit later. Actually, one of Nike's designers that I wrote to actually wrote back to me. This blew my mind. And still to this day, he has a great place in my heart. Aaron AC Cooper gave me a shot. So many kudos to him for taking the time, giving me a shot. He felt the passion in the letter. Say, hey, he was Nike's first design intern. And he actually took the time out to write me back, wrote a full page. Like this letter right here is the letter that he wrote me back. Took the time out of his day. He saw the passion and actually started giving me the the pathway to be able to get to Nike because he saw the passion that I had and helped me out on some of the other things. The grammar, we didn't have all the spell check and all that stuff. I was just hungry. I was just printing them out. I saw your name, I'm typing and I'm printing it out and I'm sending it to you. And so through that, I grew a relationship with him. Then he gave me his email address, and from him giving me his email address, began to correspond back and forth. And to December of, I think the following year, I flew out to Nike, y'all, to have an interview for designing shoes. Now, to many of you, this is your dream, just to have an opportunity to be able to get into the door. Here I am, the actual opportunity to get into Nike. Now, just imagine a young kid. Now, I had never gotten on a plane before, and my first trip is going all the way to the West Coast, to the upper West Coast. And the way I took the flight, I think I ended up going from, I didn't know any better. I had my godfather go with me. So I flew from Chicago to Minneapolis, and that flight from Minneapolis flew to St. Louis, and from St. Louis, we flew all the way to Portland, Oregon. And when I tell you, y'all, when I got on that campus, it blew my mind. It was nothing like you've never seen before. I'm sure it's even greater and more astounding now than it was then. But just being on that campus, and back then, again, like cell phones are just the norm. No, I stopped by, I think, a Walgreens or something like that, and picked up one of those disposable cameras, and I'm taking pictures and just like a kid in a candy store, because I'm a young kid from Chicago. Let me make it even clearer. A young black kid from Chicago. Started with nothing, and letters have now got me on the Nike campus. That just makes me sit back and I'm like, wow, it can really happen if you put in the hard work. I'm actually here at Nike. So for the past few months before that, I'm getting my portfolio together. Like, hey, got to make a good impression. Got to show them, this is me. This is my dream job. All that other kind of stuff. So got everything together. Getting ready to make my presentation. Then just walking in on the campus. It's astounding. It's just the things that they had in the hallway. The artifacts of shoes. The growth of how the company started. Just seeing all of those things. The rich history at Nike. Meeting AC, also meeting a bunch of other designers, the designers for the Kobe shoes. It was just Eric Avar, just meeting him, taking a picture with him, and just being engrossed in the whole culture of these are people doing what I wish to be my dream job, and just like, wow, being able to take pictures and be around that particular community to see that this is possible. It's possible to be able to live the life that you want to live with hard work. And then he's giving me a tour of the whole Nike facility. Like when I say the lunchroom, it looks like it was at least about a whole building by itself, where on one side, for I remember, it was the lunchroom, the cafeteria. They got professional chefs back there cooking. And then on the other side of it was a whole like gym, a full court. It was like, it blew my mind. Like, I'm here, I'm at Nike, and it's like, wow, I made it. So take out my portfolio. They had someone else there meet me. That was the hiring manager. I forgot what his name was. Looks through it, then come to find out, I didn't get the job. But one thing I learned from a lot of people, like, oh man, you got all the way to Nike, and maybe people will look at it as a failure. I don't look at it as a failure. I look at it as a fuel, because if that had not happened, I would not have started the companies that I've started today. Cuzzo wouldn't be what it is today because of that experience, because somebody reached out and gave me a hand and gave me the opportunity to see what it could be, what Cuzzo could be. You can be whatever you dream. You can be whatever you envision. That I'm actually here at Nike. So I didn't use it as failure. And some of those relationships that I still have to this day. Now, the serendipitous moment, what was it? Either last year or the year before, they reached out to me on LinkedIn to be possibly one of the designers for the Serena Williams project, to design her shoes. And I had to make a choice. My brand had finally started growing after 10 years of having it, because I started Cuzzo in 2010. A lot of people, you all just start finding out about it within the last 2 years ago, but it shows again with the longevity. So I'm trying to get ready to end the video, but just want to let you know how Cuzzo came to be, the whole story of me, what you're buying into, the story of starting from nothing, ending up to where I am now, to one day becoming a multi-million-dollar brand. So starting there, so having that rejection is like, what do you do when it seems like the thing that you wanted the most is now pulled away from you? And now I have the opportunity to go right back there. Someone reaching out saying, hey, if I have it, I'll post the actual LinkedIn, maybe I shouldn't post the name or whatever, but LinkedIn letter that they reached out to me and say, hey, we're looking for people to be a part of the Serena Williams design team. And then it's there what I got to make a decision. Like, do I go back and fulfill that old dream, or do I build my own brand? And then this was in the middle, right where the pandemic had kind of started. So they didn't even know all the details. So talking back and forth with them, they didn't know if it was going to be fully in Portland, where they were going to have the resident stay, that was going to be a part of the team, was it going to be remote. So all the details weren't fully written out, and I didn't know how I was going to do it, having a family and not, wanting to leave them in the middle of that. But then too, again, this is one of my older dreams, but on the other hand, my brand is starting to pick up. So it's like, what do I do? Do I go and pursue this Nike thing, or do I continue to build my own brand? So I made the very, very, very hard choice I say, I'm gonna build my own brand, and hopefully I can get my brand to the point that hopefully one day in the future, Nike will come back and say, hey, let's do a collab. So why not build my own brand, and hopefully, prayerfully, that door, and I know through hard work, that they can come back to me, and if not Nike, maybe another brand that's out there, So I had to make that hard decision to build my own brand and say, hey, I got to do this for me. I've taken all of these years to use that failure and turn it into fuel that's now fire, that's now blazing my brand. And then had I not stuck with it, the last 3 years, my brand has grown over 400%. Most of you have seen it from different people in the shoe community begin to wear it, from getting shouts out to Rick Ross to YouTube celebrities and all that other stuff, with people actually wearing the brand and being a part of it. And it's like, wow, because I stuck with one of the key things we're going to talk about in one of the videos for you all who want to know how to start your brand. It starts with passion. So we're going to talk about that in a future video, because I got to get ready to end this off. And then learning how to start from nothing. I made one of my first t-shirts. These two that you see behind me are actually one of the first 3 that I actually have ever got made. But this one here started off simple. This was the first Cuzzo t-shirt ever made. This here, simple. Now, when I released this in 2010, the style was then, it was the baggy clothes. Everyone was baggy. And then right after that, as soon as I launched December 1st, 2010, right after that, kind of 2011, 2012, the style went to the slim, the taper fit. So I had all of this inventory built with all of these big shirts and all this other stuff, and then the style had changed. But it also taught me how to change and adapt with styles, how much to get made, how to prepare for seasons, how to forecast for seasons, and how to get rid of stock fast, inventory fast, but also use it as an advantage to grow your brand. So here's the story of Cuzzo, from where I started, the humble beginnings. So I'll take you all to the design lab with some of the stuff that we have now, to getting stuff made overseas and manufactured to where we're going to be a multi-million-dollar brand. So here's to you all, welcoming you to the Cuzzo family, the Cuzzo Nation. I want to say much love to everybody. Don't forget to like, subscribe. I really want to hear you all's comments below. Let me know what you want to hear, what you want me to talk about, because again, I'm going to be talking about fashion, footwear, branding, faith, all those particular things. But let me know if there's something specific that you want to hear about on the channel, and if it goes with the Cuzzo DNA, we're going to address it. We're going to keep it real. We're going to keep it 100, and we're going to help people out, because that's one of my biggest things. I can't grow unless I help my brother or my sister grow. That's the whole thing behind Cuzzo. We're all family, regardless of what our nationality, race, creed, or whatever it is. We are family. You are Cuzzo. So I want to welcome everybody to Cuzzo Nation. Looking forward to seeing you soon. Hey, it's either going to be you start one day, or today could be day one for the rest of your future. Much love. Be blessed. Your boy Cuzzo. And we out.
You got an event coming up, and you need a fit with just the right touch. You need something that's bold, something pure gold. You need something that's cold. What you need is the ultimate expression of swagger.